Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your girl, Becky D. Live in the morning, 5 days a week, 7 a.m. All right, you guys. Still talking about that same old BS this week. And I have done good not to curse. I'm doing good. And it's just day 2, but we ain't gonna talk about it. All right, we ain't gonna talk about it. So, today, we talking about something that when you hear it, you're gonna be like, hold up, wait a minute, run that back. Right? So, same kind of. Oh, hold on. And make sure I get it exactly right. Because I don't know why this came to me. Well, I do know why it came to me, but I really don't know, like, how the phrase came to me. It just kind of stuck, and I like it. Oh, no, I was right. Same kind of stupid, different kind of dumb. Same kind of stupid, different kind of dumb. Or you can say same stupidity, different kind of dumb. All right. So we use the word stupid and dumb like almost interchangeably. And being honest with you, take the time to look up the definitions. But even as the American language has kind of came forefront here, it even, like gives them interchangeable meanings, which is fine. But when we talk to each other, we be like, oh man, you just stupid and this and that, which is a very negative connotating thing, right? And we also need to remember that people have feelings and we need to watch how we say those things. Now, if you call them dumb, that's different, right? We feel just a tad bit better. But talking about doing the same old BS over and over again, we got to realize that, hey, maybe what I'm doing is the same old stupid stuff, and it's just done in another dumb way. That was almost a tongue twister. I had to slow down just now. All right. So I love examples because sometimes people don't understand unless you give them an example. So here's an example, right? If I just got locked up, unfortunately, for stealing cars, right? It's just stupid. Okay. You do not need to go around stealing cars, just saying. And get out. I will fully, rejuvenated, whatever they try to say they do in jails nowadays, rehabilitated young person. And I get a call from one of my guys, one of my peeps. It's like, hey, let's go rob a bank. It's the same kind of stupid, but just a different type of dumb, right? We tend to just do that even in every day. Okay. Another example, I just left education, right? If I just left education and I turn around and it was like, hey, I want to go work for a preschool, that's still education, right? Same kind of stupid, different kind of dumb. Now, gotta segue here. I didn't leave education because of stupidity or dumbness, all right? Mostly because them kids ain't getting it nowadays. But I left it for personal reasons. And you'll just have to get on my personal page to figure all of that out as to why. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to it. So, unfortunately, recently I have had the honor and the privilege to meet people who is doing the same kind of stupid, but just a different type of dumb. All right. And then they got the nerve to say comments. So when you're going to talk to someone, make sure you think. And I've done a whole podcast on this before. It's called STAR, Stop, Think, Act, and Review. I stole it from my elementary school guidance counselor because it's something that helped push me along through all these years, okay? But what people fail to realize is that we do this every single day. I'm guilty of it. Remember when I talked about repeat offenders, when you're going back to the same relationships or to the same jobs, right? Some of us, don't get me wrong, like if it's seasonal, like a seasonal job, like with Amazon or I think Walmart does seasonal too. Whoever does seasonal. If it's a seasonal job like that, then I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of get it. I don't get it all the way. But what we don't need to do is have a horrible experience. Don't get paid and all these other things and then return back. Like there's been a job that I worked and it was almost enjoyable, right? But their organization was a mess. They didn't know who was doing what, who was going where. We had, because again it was dealing with education, we had lessons but no supplies, and they didn't want us to go buy them with our money or with their money, so it was just like all over the place, right? And I'm thinking, you know what, this is a summer job, this is not something that's supposed to fuel my pockets, it's just supposed to be a supplement to my pay. I'm not coming back, and I didn't. I was so proud of myself because I did like the benefits, right? If anybody lives in a major city, you know, a job with free parking is like cash is gold. And I mean, free parking anytime I was in the city. Like, who would turn that down, right? I got, you know, a yearly membership to where I was working at for free. Like, you know, it just came with perks. But I had to realize that all those beautiful perks was not worth the headache. And it was not, okay? Um, so those are things to constantly keep in mind. Stuff like that. Like, no, I ain't doing that one, right? Now, just thinking about it, should I have done that this summer? Just kind of get a break before moving into my new career? Probably. But I was so passionate about getting out that I was like, I'm not about to make this mistake and accidentally slip back in. With relationships, we tend to be serial daters of the same person or the same type of people. Okay. So when I say the same type of people, is people, you know how people like, oh, you got a type, right? Like, you know, maybe it's a girl, you know, who got like short hair, long legs. You know, every discreetly everybody has a type and some people may not realize it. And sometimes your types are definitely in personalities, especially if you're pansexual, okay? That you get with a person based off their personality. And sometimes people wear a good mask, right? You get with them and you find out that they are definitely a wolf in sheep clothing. Everything about them is awful, hideous. You just it's a no for me, dog. Like Randy, okay? Randy Jackson. And it comes down to it and you're like, what did I just get myself into, right? Again, because that term is gonna slip from your mouth. It's like, dude, how did I do this to myself again, right? It gets to a point where you almost get scared to be in a relationship or anything, partnership, whatever the case may be, that your repeat offender happens in. Because people are so manipulating and they mask themselves so well these days, right? But what we really need to focus on is, why are we going back to the same person or same type of person? What kind of person are we that we keep doing it? What keeps attracting us to the same kind of jobs is going to frustrate us, to stress us out, and, you know, not really warrant us any satisfaction. The beautiful part, I've heard this phrase all throughout my life, is that if I'm doing something I love, I will never work a day in my life, right? I have done a lot of things that I love, but a lot of things that I love require me to feel like I have been working all my life, okay? And I haven't. But those rewarding type jobs are so beneficial. You ever see somebody has been working at like Walmart or all these different stores, that in your head when you go in, you're like, oh, I can never work here, the customers alone, you know, when you make phrases like that, and they've been there 20, 30 years, and in your head you're like, how they got in there, they found their rhythm, and they've been enjoying it. That's how, right? Different strokes for different folks. Definitely got to remember that one, all right? I've grew up with these sayings and these phrases, so they're like second nature to me now. And some people are like, oh, I haven't heard that one. Or, oh, that's so Southern, right? I get called Southern all the time. And a lot of times, especially when I talk, um, or I'm talking, my southern accent does not show. Okay. But sometimes when a southern colloquium fits a situation, oh, all my southern attitude is coming out, and I'm gonna say it like, "Oh, bless your heart." That's how I feel about people who keep going to the same person, like, "Oh, bless your heart," right? Because that's southern for stupid, or she just don't know, right? It's time this year, this second, this moment to evaluate. Okay, we do not evaluate as human beings, and I can tell you exactly why. Okay, they are trying to make us robots in a robotic world. They need people to be yes men and not challenge the way of thinking, right? There's the whole educational stir up, I believe it's in Florida. Oh yeah, it is. That was talking about, kind of rewriting Black History Month history and all that thing, right? So again, I'm not a controversial type person, but when it strikes me, I bring it up. And how the teacher took it upon himself to kind of rewrite history. Well, we already know that the textbooks are written by the victors, but the thing is, don't leave the loser out, right? Don't leave the small guys and the bad guys and all these lower guys. Don't leave them out because their stories are important too. No matter what people think, those voices need to be heard, even if you don't agree with them or you don't like them. And 9 times out of 10, it's just that you don't like them. Now, they didn't want somebody to challenge what was being taught or what was being said. They wanted yes men, like yes, yes, let's start this new way of thinking and let's rewrite the history. As many times as our history has been rewritten in America, I don't even know which version now to teach or to understand or to take in. So I didn't want to further incriminate myself. I guess you could say I don't even know. But the thing is, if we were taught in school to go straight into the workforce without thinking about it, right? And I used to tell my students this all the time. They were like, just started challenging the schedule. Like, oh, well, why do we have to do this? And why are we here for this many minutes? And why do we have to do that? And that's when I was like, think about it, right? I come here and I work a typical 8 to 5 because that was very close to our school hours. So I was like, if I have to come in here and work at 8 to 5, and you guys are in here for about the same amount of time, by the time you get old enough to join the workforce, your body is now accustomed to 8 to 5. You get your lunch break, which is typically about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your job. Some people fancy you and give you an hour. And then I was like, oh, you have your days off, you have your holidays, you have days that you can take for personal days. And I mean, they give you lunch because technically you don't have a job yet, but eventually you'll have to start bringing your lunch. So if you already bring your lunch, you're just like acing this thing, right? And then we give you a task, right? And we just want you to work on that task. And that's all we want you to do. And we just want you to focus on it. And as I'm telling them this and I'm, relating it to real world jobs, and they're just sitting there like, yo, she got a point. We're really just in this cycle of let's train you for the workforce because some kids will argue. They're just like, man, we didn't learn anything. And I was like, no, you're correct. You probably won't learn anything. Um, because what you need to learn is just how to shut up, get a job, and just continue to do the same revelations over and over again, right? So you got to think in ellipticals, okay? You got to think in ellipticals. But what I do is help them challenge their way of thinking, help them break those generational curse, help them decide for themselves, am I about to jump off this BS train, okay? And I need you to jump off of it today. In your relationship, in your work relationships, your workforce, your personal life, whatever the case may be, right? If you keep saying, oh, I'm gonna stop drinking, and then you turn to drugs, Same kind of stupid, different kind of BS, right? Different kind of dumb. And it's all BS. But what you have to realize is that you, my friend, okay, have to boil it. It's going to be hard, and you're going to have to rise above it, okay? Now, sometimes we get with people who make us feel comfortable, and actually, we're the problem. So always think of that whenever you're doing your evaluating. When you do your evaluating, then there's the execution. Make sure you execute and execute well, right? I I think I gave you too much to do in a day. So spread it over a week if you need to. But the process should start today. Just take a few seconds during your meditation, or not before you go to bed, because dear God, you may be up to 3 o'clock in the morning trying to cycle through everything. Like, oh no, I remember that girl from sixth grade. I remember that guy. I don't want you to jump down that lane right there. Okay. So don't do it before bed. Do it while you're eating dinner or something of that nature. But take the time, process everything, and see where you're at. Right, evaluate, execute, and just keep evaluating and executing. And meditate, whatever religion that you follow, pray on it, whatever it is that you have to do, but make sure that it's something that aligns with your soul and your spiritual guidance, and make sure that you're executing it, okay? My name is Becky D with Becky D in the Morning, you guys. I do hope that this does help somebody today. If it helps you, share it with somebody else. You can even send them like small little clippings. They don't have to listen to the whole length of the thing, okay? I'm not a person that gets offended by that. I'm not getting paid by this in any way, shape, or form. It's just something that I love to do, all right? My name is Becky D with Becky D in the Morning, and I will definitely be talking with you all tomorrow morning.